that there is going to tell me how much I have to f around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you f around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never f around, you'll never find out.
I know how you all love a good get woke, go broke story, and Starbucks has been in a downward spiral over the last several years. After doing everything they could to embrace woke policy, it has come back to bite them in the rear end, and it's been so bad that they just had to fire their woke CEO, and the hilarious cascading failures that happened because of his woke decision making, and then his last second appeal to suddenly be not woke. Because see, when they got woke, everybody stopped buying their coffee because Palestine and woke people can't afford Starbucks. So then they tried to say, oh, well, woke policy's bad, Starbucks good. Well, we all remembered that you hate us. So now the CEO has been fired after a widespread, long-running sales slump, and I'm absolutely here for it. By the way, today's the last day. Speaking of code switch, remember how Dunkin' Donuts said that they hate free speech and they hate conservatives? Well, my coffee company, Coffee Brand Coffee, loves all our customers. We don't care how you vote. We just want to give you the best possible coffee, make it available to you, fresh, on demand, roasted, ultra small batch. You won't find a fresher coffee online. We've got butterscotch toffee, blueberry cobbler, strawberries and cream, our brand new silky ultra dark roast, our limited time summer flavors, all available, whole bean, ground. We even have K-Cups. Promo code SWITCH. Sale ends today. 15% off site-wide. If you haven't yet, give us a try. 100% money back guarantee. If you don't like that coffee, I will give you your money back, no questions asked. And I won't ask you how you vote. Starbucks has announced that their CEO has been fired and has been replaced with Chipotle's CEO, Brian Niccol, and he will become the new CEO in a major shakeup. The coffee chain has faced pressure from activist investor Elliott Investment Management to improve its performance and stock price. Shares of Starbucks fired up 20% in early trading following the news, while Chipotle's stock sunk more than 9%. Starbucks has been in negotiations with Elliott's management for weeks. Just last week, another investor, Starboard Value, took stake in the Seattle-based company, according to the Wall Street Journal. Starbucks reported disappointing results in its latest earnings report, which showed another 2% fall in same-store sales. Profits fell nearly 10% in the second quarter, with the company blaming higher wages for U.S. staff offsetting its raised prices. No, people don't want to pay $8 for coffee, plus wait an hour to get it. Let's not forget, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz pays the price for going woke. Howard Schultz should have listened to me. A decade ago, I wrote a book in which I observed that one of New York's most infamous intricable municipal platforms, its lack of public restrooms, had been in part solved by the private sector. It's one business in particular, Starbucks. That was my case in my neighborhood. At least on any given afternoon, the Starbucks at Park Row and Beekman would have had a restroom line 10 or 20 long, mostly European tourists carrying 21st century shopping bags, and it must have been in a guidebook somewhere. It was a classic case of the private sector creating a public good while bringing in new customers, but the public sector has to do its part. When it came to basic services such as public safety, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz has been a lifelong champion of the kind of sentimental urban progressivism that helped turn the public spaces of cities such as Portland and Philadelphia and unhappily New York into part-time homeless shelters and makeshift psychiatric wards. And now his business is paying the price for that. Only a few years after opening all of his bathrooms to the general public as some sort of grand social justice gesture, the coffee chain is closing stores all around the country, mostly in big progressive Democrat-run cities, because the locations become too dangerous for customers and even staff. Homeless people camp in the bathrooms or make mad scenes in the cafe. Junkies are using Starbucks bathrooms to shoot up, and the company has been obliged to install needle disposal boxes in some of its stores. I mean, Here's two things that don't go together very well: selling caffeinated adult milkshakes for $6 a cup and hepatitis. Schultz, who describes himself as a lifelong Democrat and who's big on the issues you'd expect the CEO of Starbucks to attend to: gay marriage, climate change, and has toyed around himself with running for president a few times. But what Americans need from their government isn't compassion and empathy. Americans need safe streets, clean and orderly public spaces, and effective law enforcement. Never forget, also, so Starbucks they stepped in it with conservatives and independents who could afford their $6 an hour coffee. And then they pissed off the wokies with a massive anti-Israel / pro-Palestine boycott of Starbucks. They were getting it from both sides. Never forget, Starbucks CEO now blames woke elected officials for 16 store closures in dangerous cities. Maybe you shouldn't have opened your restrooms to anybody who wanted to use them. Maybe you should have kept your customers safe. You know, he says, exclusive today, an internal meeting. CEO Howard Schultz said Starbucks is a window in America. We're facing things which stores were not built for. We're listening to our people and closing stores, and this is just the beginning. There's going to be more. Schultz blamed elected leaders of the Democrat cities where the stores are closing. At the local, state, and federal level, these governments and leaders, mayors and governors and city councils have advocated their responsibility in fighting crime and addressing mental illness. Again, this is what he voted for. This is what he voted for. He voted for this woke nonsense. You know what I mean? Like this, I couldn't be happier about it. This earlier this year, forget Bud Light, this woke Starbucks case will enrage conservative investors. Like many other companies that got their start in the Pacific Northwest, Starbucks makes little secret of its political leaning. The Seattle coffee chain touts its interest in social responsibility, taking care of the mitigate waste, securing fair trade practices in its coffee supply chain, and donating extra food to those in need. By the way, all good things. More recently, Starbucks has been outspoken about social justice and human rights. In 2021, the coffee company pledged $100 million to Black and underserved groups, whatever that means, following the BLM protests. It also committed strengthening abortion access for employees following a leaked draft of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. In 2023, Starbucks ruffled feathers with its annual release of its reusable Pride coffee cups to support LGBTQ+ advocacy. Starbucks strives to create a culture of inclusion. Nobody cares who you sleep with. And just buy your stupid coffee or don't buy your stupid coffee. Nobody cares. That's literally why I called my company Coffee Brand Coffee. It would have been a lot easier for me to just sell whatever coffee I wanted and call it Own the Libs Coffee or Liberal Tears Coffee. The ads write themselves. But that's not what I wanted to do because that would go against what I talk about. That's why I called it Coffee Brand Coffee. I focused on getting the best possible beans, the best possible staff, the best possible roasting equipment, the best possible fulfillment people in my own office with our own employees, not some crappy drop ship operation like a lot of people do. I invested in my people and in the business. And that's why we're doing well. By the way, promo code SWITCH. Today, only 15% off. So Starbucks CEO gets replaced, a fixer who revived Chipotle when the chain was in distress. I mean, if you look at Starbucks sales, they've been down for over 2 years now. Nobody can afford the crap. 2 weeks ago, Starbucks sales tumble as customers reject high-priced coffee. Customers have reached their breaking point with $6 iced coffees and lemonades at Starbucks. By the way, you can make your own iced coffee from Coffee Brand Coffee for about a third of that price. Starbucks sales dropped 3% globally at all stores open last year, including a 2% drop in North America, and that masked how steep the decline was for Starbucks last quarter. Total transactions in North American stores open at least a year fell 6% in the quarter. This was offset only, of course, by higher prices. Americans have had enough. We've talked about on this channel at length just how much of it people can take. The economy has never been rougher on the middle class. Starbucks is a treat. It is a nicety. It is a luxury. You don't need it. You can make your own, which a lot of people are doing. That's why look, the economy, inflation, all this stuff, I haven't raised prices even once at Coffee Brand Coffee since opening, I don't think. So it's about serving your customers. It's about giving them high quality. Yeah, it's all great and fine and dandy when things are going good, but now it's expensive. The average wait time in some Starbucks were almost an hour. And on top of that, you got a company that's making you pick a side politically, and nobody wants to do that. I don't think that people should be. I mean, look what's happening to Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson is currently embroiled in a massive pushback after going woke. We've had Bud Light, obviously, losing 15 to 20% of their sales forever. Those people never came back. Tractor Supply faced a major backlash. John Deere faced a major backlash. When times are great, you can be as woke as you want to be because people aren't paying attention to how they're spending their money. That's why, by the way, if you haven't yet, you should be using the Veebs app. Promo code 4444 gives you a free trial. It's available on iPhone and iPhone and Android. Get the Veebs app. Stop giving money to people who hate you. Also, by the way, they're doing travel stuff, big purchases. People start taking their power back. And so now the woke CEO gets pushed out because, well, nobody gave a dang about politics when they couldn't afford to put gas in their car. They couldn't pay $7 for a coffee drink at Starbucks. This is a premium get woke, go broke scenario, and it couldn't have happened to a dumber company. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll take a second to at least peruse. Go to coffeebrandcoffee.com. Go to our coffee selections. See if there's something you like. Try brewing at home. We also have K-Cups available of our most popular flavors. Promo code SWITCH, 15% off. We'll talk to you again real soon.